What's up YouTube, Dave from zephyr wargames, and we are back from Euros 2017, and I'm bringing you my updated Pendulum Magician deck. Now, I didn't do as well in the main event as I wanted to, so I did drop out, made a few changes to the deck, entered a couple of side events, and in my first winner mat, I won that one. So I'm going to go through this deck, show you the changes that I made, and then kind of walk you through the games that I played and what I found really helpful in the deck. And then we'll take a look through the side deck, just so you can see kind of what cards I was playing in the deck to combat the meta. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight into it. I'm going to put these over here for us. Okay, so you start off, pretty standard Magician lineup is triple purple poison Magician. This card is your pop, and it is so good. I'll zoom in a bit more for you so you can see the cards all clear enough. So Purple Poison Magician, play 3 of this guy. It's so good. 1 scale is scale effect. It gives you gives a dark spell card to type monster when it battles. Before damage count, 1200 attack. Then you destroy this card. Now the best thing is, if you attack directly, it gives it to it. If you get attacked, it gives it to it. And it's just so good to then go pop and to destroy a face-up monster they control, a face-up card they control, and go from there. You can also give it the 1200 boost, even if you're under Pendulum Call, and then don't destroy it, which is why Magicians are so busted. Triple Black Fang Magician. Now this card, you basically halve your 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and half his attack, then destroy this card. So what you've got to remember about the Magician Pendulum Scales is they all apply the effects and then destroy the cards. So if they're under Pendulum Call, they don't get destroyed, but you still apply their effects. Its destruction effect is you special summon 1 dark spellcast summon monster from your graveyard. That's it. It doesn't need to be a level 4, there's no other restrictions. You can bring back Astrograph, you can bring back Harmonizer Magician to make another Synchro. You can even bring back your Time Star Magician, purely because after it's been successfully summoned, you know, you can do whatever you want with Black Fang. Triple Harmonizer Magician. Now I was a little bit critical when I first saw this card, but this card is amazing. It's a 1 card, level 8 Synchro or rank 4 play. It's so damn good, it's unreal. Then we play triple Performer Power Skullcrabat Joker. This searches out pretty much all your Magicians and Scales, and then it also helps build you rank 4 plays, and it's also searchable off of Time Star Magician. So there are some times where you'll do your Pendulum Summon, go into Time Star, search Skullcrabat, normal summon your Skullcrabat, search out Astrograph, destroy one of your Scales, special summon Astrograph. Astrograph adds back the Scale you've just popped, and then you've got a 25 beater on board. Triple Wisdom One Magician, because opening this out to circle and fill out your extra deck is crazy good. Now, double Astrograph Sorcerer, because you don't want it to brick too much. It's good at 2 the other way. I found it because I don't focus solely on the Zark play, but I do have Zark in case I have the ability to make it. Double Iris Magician. Now, this is one of the changes I made when I left the main event, purely because he was the least necessary. So his destruction effect was to search out a Pendulum Graph card. Now, I took out a Star Pendulum Graph, which is the spell card, so I only run 3 Pendulum Graphs, and the fact that it's searchable by this and Duelist Alliance, I didn't actually see the necessity of having him at 3. It actually worked out quite well for me. I didn't see myself missing the 3rd one, and I actually had enough resources to keep going around. 1 White Wing Magician. Now this is obviously the ability to make Zark. Its other effect as well, because if you bring it out of Harmonizer Magician, it's going to banish itself when it synchros anyway, so you might as well get 2 synchros on board. And when we get to the extra deck, I'll show you one of the changes I made, which pretty much won me 2 games. And then you can cycle her back with Omega in the extra deck. 1 Luster Pendulum the Draco Slayer. Now, I only really abused this guy once or twice, purely because his great effect is when you put him in a scale, you can then pop a scale, get that effect off, and then recycle it and get another one. And because I don't play any higher levels apart from Astrograph, I don't need to worry about my Scales being locked into a 5 and a 1, because Astrograph can special summon itself through destruction. So 1 to 5 is absolutely fine in this build, which is where you can abuse Luster properly. And it also won me a game when I special summoned it off of Ignistar and actually did it that way. So yeah, he's quite helpful, but he is one that I might consider cutting. And then one of the most amazing cards in the deck is Double Fairy Tale Luna. The best thing about this card is you normal summon it, you search yourself out, use her effect to bounce her and bounce one of your opponent's card. If your opponent tries to negate it, that's fine, they lose a resource from their extra deck or main deck anyway. But the idea is you go normal summon, effect, bounce, bounce, bring this back to hand, Pendulum summon both out, effect, bounce, bounce, effect, bounce, bounce. So you're bouncing stuff like no tomorrow, and it's so busted, it's unreal in this deck. It's such a good card, and I highly recommend playing it. I wasn't playing it in the main event. There were a couple of other Pendulum Magicians playing this Fairy Tale Luna, and I was like, right, I've got to give it a go, I've got to see how it works. And it just works so nice, because then your opponent has to worry about the bounce and losing the resources. And I mean, if they've already gone through 2 Dryadents, Luna's going to be bouncing that 3rd one back anyway. So they either want the cycle back or not. And it's just such a good card. Like, for your opponent to have to worry about these and then the scales during their turn, because it's quick effects as well, it's a no-brainer. Double Ghost Ogre and Snow Reaper. Now, the reason I play Ghost Ogre over Ash purely is because there are them times when I don't just want to negate their card, I actually want to destroy it. I don't want it left on the field. So the main targets with Ogre were going to be Diagram, Barrage, and basically continuous spells and trap cards. But also the ability to, if I know they're trying to go, for example in Dinos, if I know they want to get Dracaelio out and they haven't done Miscellaneous Saurus yet or something like that, or they've misplayed, whatever, Ghost Ogre out there, Overraptor, just so they don't have that level 4 on board to help push their plays. So I found this a bit more disruptive. And then finally, Maxi. Now, if I needed more reason to dislike this card, you know, I got it at this weekend. The one time I saw it in my opening hand against a Zoo deck, he ashed it. And I was just like, yeah, okay, that sums up Maxi for me as it is. You know, I'll still play it because, you know, if you do open them up with it, you do enough to disrupt your opponent. Your opponent's either going to stop their plays or they're going to go into it and help boost up your scales and play. So yeah, Maxi at 1 definitely for this moment in time while we still have it. But yeah, it's still not my favourite card in the world. So that's it for the monsters. As you can see, quite a hefty monster lineup, but they all serve a decent purpose in the deck. Now onto the spells. No brainer, triple Pendulum Call. Protect your scales, you picked 1 card. Now, I top decked this in my final game of the winner mat with a card in hand. No, I don't even think I had a card in hand. I think I popped 1 card, managed to get another card to hand through Skullcrabat Joker, and then just pitched and off I went. So it worked massively well. Double Duelist Alliance. Now, originally I had this at 3, I've dropped it down to 2 because, again, the amount of times I was seeing these in my opening hands was too much. Because the ideal is you want to see this in your opening hand to search out Pendulum Call as your best target. Now, obviously you can search out your Pendulum Graph cards, but because I dropped it down to a 1 spell and 2 traps, again, there was less targets for it, which meant it was required less. Double Cosmic Cyclone, I sided in the 3rd. This again won me a game because I opened up with both of these and cleared their back row, pendulumed out and went for game. So it's very, very important. You can play Twin Twists in this, but you're already discarding through Pendulum Call, so you don't really want to be wasting too many resources to the grave. And MST is just as good, but the life point cost on this to try and clear back row is about right. It's what you want. 1 star Pendulum Graph, 2 is absolutely fine. There are a couple of decks that I saw that were playing only 1. You can play 2, that's absolutely fine. 1 was just enough for me because, you know, the psychability of the card, the fact it's just when, if a face-up Magician Pendulum monster leaves your monster zone or Pendulum zone, so you Synchro Summon, you get a search. It's just so good. And then it combos off massively well with Astrograph Magician as well. 1 Rageki and Dark Hole for board whites because board whites are king in the meta at the moment in time. Right, 2 Time Pendulum Graph, insanely good card, incredibly strong, put in a lot of work. And then double Full Force Virus. Now you don't have to play this card. This was a nice little tech that a couple of people mentioned to me because Venom is a target. Now I only got to pull this off once in the side event, and it kind of won me that game purely because I pulled this off, popping my Venom. I popped a Majesty. I popped Return that he had face up on the field, and the Majesty that he had in defense mode went to grave. I then pitched a Majesty from his hand, and then for the 3 turns I got to see what he was drawing, which gave me a full advantage to know what was being set and what was being played. So it helped out, but it might come out. 1 Strike and 1 Solemn Warning. Now, I'll quickly show you what I did take out for the cards I've added in, just so you guys can kind of see what changes I've made and why I've made these changes. So, sticking with the main deck, I took out, like I said, the one Iris Magician I've taken out, the one Strike, the one Pendulum Graph, and the one Duelist Alliance. They're the 4 changes that I've taken out to kind of change up the deck, and it seemed to have worked for me. It made it a bit more consistent, and it made it a bit more, you know, because not many people are going to expect full force virus and stuff like that, which is why it's quite a nice surprise. So he went to pop my Venom, and I changed that, and you know, obviously you don't get when I popped Venom off of full force virus, I didn't get its effect because it was tributed for cost. But by clearing it off the board, using it as the fodder, it actually worked incredibly well. Now on to the extra deck. So, play the one Supreme King Dragon Zark, just in case the ability ever comes, the possibility to make this ever comes around, and it can be done quite consistently. I just focused more on getting my synchros. So, Cypher Lord Omega, Ignis the Prominence, the Draco Slayer, Bills the Diabolical Dragon, and one of the best cards, Void Ogre Dragon. Now, Harmonizing Magician is a dark, and what made this awesome was if you have him and Time Pendulum Graph on the field, you can protect your scales, so you don't need to worry about Twin Twisters, and you can protect your Time Pendulum Graph from Regekis and board wipes, and it worked out massively well. Also, I was playing against Zoo Dracos, and they activated Twin Twisters. I let it go through because my scales were under Pendulum Call. They popped my back row, not an issue, it was Pendulum Graph. And then he activated Barrage, and I went Void Ogre to negate, and he was left in hand with one trap and a Masterpiece. So, yeah, Void Ogre did its job. Double Time Star Magician, again, this is a very, very good card. Protects your scales, and it can also protect, so when you activate the effects of your scales, if you want to leave them there, you can use his effect to send from deck to grave as well. Very, very cool. And he's the one that searches out your Astrograph Sorcerer. One Tornado Dragon, I did have this at 2, but I took that down to 1, basically to put in Void Ogre. Utopia package, this came in like once in use, and that was about it. And then another card that I put in for the side event, which was massively helpful, was number 103, Ragnar Zero. Because against Zoo, if you have Void Ogre and Ragnar Zero, there's very, very little they can do, purely because Ragnar Zero, the second they overlay, you go detach, pop, done. So the best thing they have to do is go into Dryden to then try and chain and clear something else off. And I took Scarlight, Red Dragon Archery down for this guy. Perform Ace Trapeze Magician, I would have liked it at 2, but I never really saw the opportunity to go into 2. It's one of them ones that, at the end of the day, there might be that chance where you could have done it and won you the game, but that's only a 1 in 5 chance. Abyss Dweller, Castell, and Evil Swarm Nightmare. Again, this is very, very good in the mirror match, purely because it's, you know, if you go first, they're struggling to pendulum summon and get a way out of it. So that's it for the extra deck as well. Now I'll quickly show you the side deck, and I'll show you what I used, why I used it, and how it helped. So, double draw and Lockbird, pretty straightforward and simple on that one. Hit your Zoos, hit your Dracos, hit pretty much everything. Now, Kaiju Engine, I played 3 Kaijus and 1 Interrupted Kaiju Sunbar. Now, the reason I played 2 7s is because I can pendulum summon them out. And believe it or not, it actually came in handy once because I just went, I'm going to go for game. Pendulum summoned it out, Comungus, and went in for game. And then it stops you beating Kaijus as well, which is very, very helpful. I played double Necro Valley. Now, you might be like, what? So, the reason I played double Necro Valley is, because I don't focus on the Zark, it kind of neuters my Astrograph a little bit. But I would take out maybe a couple of Black Fangs for the Necro Valley, purely because it stops Dinos dead. They can't get the Conductor on board. It stops Masterpiece popping my crap throughout their turn. And it also stops Zoo cycling around. It means they have to exort a resource of Dryden to pop Necro Valley and go further. Double D Barrier, again, because it's such a good card in the meta, especially against Zoo. Double Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, single Cosmic Cyclone, and double Denko Sekka. Now, the reason I went in with double Denko Sekka is because it actually won me a game. Because if you're worried about the pendulum strikes and warnings, literally all you need to do is go Denko Sekka, lockout. And then you're free to continue doing your stuff. And it actually won me a game or 2. Purely because, you know, if I lose a dice roll and I put the Kaijus and Denko in, I've pretty much got quite a nice second turn hand. Because I open up with Denko, open up with Kaiju, I can deal with any big board, and then I just go Denko. The only issue with Denko is if they have their Dryden or Masterpiece on board, then yes, they have the ability to clear it out. But it also stops them in the Zoo format. Obviously, if you board wipe them, and then they want to try and activate their traps or anything like that, or Denko, it absolutely helped me out massively at the event. So yeah. And that is it. That is that for the Magician Pendulum updated deck profile. I will be bringing you some test hands next, and I'll also bring you one of our test duels between this deck and True King Cosmo, believe it or not. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course, duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left-hand corner.